no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Today's show presented by Magic Spoon. I've been looking for a healthy cereal. Now I found a company that not only makes it, they have perfected healthy cereal. You guys can get $5 off your very first order at magicspoon.com/Raiders. 13 grams of protein, 4 net carbs, only 140 calories, and 0 grams of sugar per serving. Yeah, that's available in the comments and in the description. Let's get into the first story here around the Las Vegas Raiders in terms of the most latest news. If you haven't heard this one, maybe you live underneath a rock. Carl Nassib on Instagram announced that he is gay, and I want everyone down in the comments to start spamming 94 to show that you got this guy's back. He is the first active NFL player to come out. For some of you wondering, wait a minute, what about Michael Sam, the former defensive end from Missouri? Technically, Sam came out before he was ended up drafted, so therefore Nassib, he is the first active player. Nassib has pledged $100,000 to the Trevor Project, and I also want to give a major shout out to the NFL for matching that donation. If you're struggling being able to come out, all I want you to know is that a lot of people, they end up having your back. Plus, this literally just came out. Nassib now has the highest selling jersey over the last 2 days, so you can see a lot of people got his back. Now, two people that definitely got Nassib's back, Mark Davis spoke about Carl Nassib, and I love the fact that the Raiders owner came out and said this. It's 2021, and I completely support Carl. It doesn't change my opinion of him as a person or as a Raider. Here's what John Gruden, head coach, had to say about Nassib. I learned a long time ago, what makes a man different is what makes him great. And I 100% agree. So what I want you guys to do is remember, Raider Nation's family. You might not like every single player that comes on that field, but if they have this jersey on, if they're wearing silver and black, they are family. Because I guarantee you this, if you were to see Carl Nassib out in public wearing a Raiders jersey, don't matter who you are. If I see you at a grocery store, if I see you walking down the street, if I see you driving a car and you're repping some Raiders stuff, I'm yelling Raiders to you, and I'm going to treat you like family. So you make sure you have this man's back here. Carl, I got your back. I hope the rest of the nation does too. I want everyone to go ahead and type 94. All right, y'all, so let's get into some rumors here. I'm ready to get into a nice little rumor six-pack, crack this open. Darron Lee, is he going to end up making the 53-man roster for the Las Vegas Raiders? I'm going to give this one to Chucky Heads. It's a coin flip. If you want to call it in the air, heads or tails, you can be my guest. The reason why it's two Chucky Heads is because from a talent standpoint, I actually think this move makes a lot of sense. He was signed on Thursday. He's got some talent, selected in round 1 of the 2016 draft by the New York Jets. However, the issue of him has always been being able to cover and him really being able to pick up some defenses. From what I know, the Gus Bradley system is about as easy as it gets from knowing what you need to do. And if you're looking for an athletic guy that can go sideline to sideline, that's one thing Lee is able to do. He put up very good numbers at the Combine, but when you look at his numbers last season with Buffalo, wasn't great. Played in only 2 games. The year before that, even with Kansas City, struggled a little bit. But you have seen some flashes, and probably the best year for Lee was back in 2018 where he had 74 tackles, 5 pass breakups, 3 interceptions. You could also look at 2017 where he had some pretty good production as well for the New York Jets. But this man is only 26 years old. Now, by him coming onto this roster, my mindset is like, all right, what does that necessarily mean for somebody like Divine Diablo, who has yet to show up, who apparently, according to reports, might be dealing with an unknown injury? Tanner Muse, we know the Raiders aren't too excited about him. Could he end up taking his spot? Javen White, have not heard too much about him, and then even more reports coming out that Corey Littleton might move to an even more of an outside linebacker role in case the Raiders do decide to come out and play 4 linebackers, which they might. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, all right, maybe Lee actually has a halfway decent chance to make this team. But as it stands right now, I haven't seen him work in the defense. I haven't seen how he fits with this team chemistry. But he has a legitimate chance to make this roster. So what I want you guys to do right now, let me know what y'all think. Will Darron Lee make the 53-man? I want you to type 53 for yes, or I just simply want you to type W for that he won't. If you do think that he is going to make it, be an overachiever, and let me know which linebackers y'all think are making that 53, because if he does make it, is he making it over Muse? Is he making it over White? Is he making it over Divine Diablo? Like, these are all things that y'all need to have in mind. Next story coming up here is around our sponsor, Magic Spoon. And does every single person from Raider Nation need to try this stuff? Hell freaking yeah, this one's for Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. This cereal is going to absolutely change your life. I don't know about y'all. I remember growing up as a kid, right? It was a hell of a struggle getting out of bed, even harder than it is now. But I would eat a bowl of cereal, sometimes two, every single morning. And then I got to middle school. And then I started looking like I was covered in acne, I had a beer belly, and I was a freaking teenager. If I would have found Magic Spoon back when I was in middle school, I still wouldn't have been able to eat healthy cereal. But now, we found it. MagicSpoon.com/Raiders. We're going to be able to hook you guys up, $5 off your very first order. It's going to be in the comments. It's going to be in the description. I want you to go ahead and check this cereal out because tell me how many cereals out there have 13 grams of protein, 4 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar. One of my favorite things about this, y'all know that I have a sweet tooth. Y'all know that I've been trying to get back into better shape. Man, they got cereals like peanut butter. They have fruity. They have chocolate, cocoa, right? Like, I've been in love with the cocoa, and y'all will be too. It's MagicSpoon.com/Raiders. $5 off your very first order. And if you're wondering, like, Mitch, does it taste good? I love cereal, and I'm always the guy that's sitting there late night, and I got that craving. I have been ripping apart these cereals here in the office, and the first time I ever had it was 2 years ago. So when my bosses were like, dude, we got a new sponsor, Magic Spoon. Have you ever heard of them? Y'all, you can ask anybody in that office. I was super, super hyped. It not only tastes great, dude, it's healthy. And when you really look at some of the crazy cereal ingredients, you're like, what the hell are they putting in cereal? These guys, all good ingredients, 0 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, 13 grams of protein. Some of the cereal, even 14 grams of protein per serving. As y'all can see, I'm super excited. Go ahead and try out our brand new sponsor, MagicSpoon.com/Raiders. $5 off your very first order. Let's go to the next story coming up here. It's around Damon Arnette, and maybe he needs to get some Magic Spoon in him. So, is he an afterthought already on this Las Vegas Raiders team? It's a little bit of a disappointing thing to say, but I am going to give this one 3 chalky heads, and it sounds like it's pretty likely. The day that the Raiders drafted Damon Arnette, and how many times have I said this? He's a good player. He's never going to live up to the first round pick, right? It's just simply not going to happen. There's already been reports out there from Vic Tafur that said people inside the Raiders organization consider Arnette an afterthought. They're worried about not only his on-field performance, but his dedication to the game. One of the biggest things that people hated on me for in the offseason was like, all right, I actually think that Damon Arnette has other focuses besides football. Did he put on weight? Yes. Is he working out in the weight room? Yes. However, I'm not saying that I hate on guys for having hobbies. That's not it. However, if I was coming off a bad year, I would take a little bit more responsibility, try to do the job that I need to be able to do to like take care of myself, my family, instead of trying to focus on something else like a rap career. So Damon, I hope that you can get it together. I hope that you're not an afterthought, and I hope that you can actually come out and play because we need you to play. We need some extra depth in that secondary. But here's the exact quote from Tafur on Arnette that I just could not believe when I saw it. I shouldn't say I couldn't believe. I could believe it, but the fact that we're already talking about it and it's only the middle of June should scare the hell out of everyone. Well, after watching minicamp practices Tuesday and Wednesday and talking to people in the building, Arnette has become almost an afterthought. The Raiders signed veteran Casey Hayward in May and all but handed him Arnette's starting job opposite Trayvon Mullen. There was some speculation that one might move to slot corner, but neither has practiced there yet. So if Mullen's going to start, then you got Casey Hayward. He's going to start opposite cornerback. Doesn't surprise me at all, which means then if Arnette's not even practicing in the slot, where exactly are you going to put him on the field? It's very disappointing to have somebody that you drafted 19 overall to not even be on the field. That's very, very sad, especially in the second year. So what do y'all think about this? Have you given up on Damon Arnette? I want you to type Y for yes, or I want you to go down in the comment section and type N for no. I don't want to give up on any player in year 2, especially when the first year was as crazy as what it was in COVID. However, that could also mean guys like Rasul Douglas are stepping up. Maybe Amik Robertson, maybe Nevin Lawson, maybe even got somebody like Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, right? These could be some other players stepping up. But the fact that you're already willing to kind of get rid of Arnette, he's going to still make the 53, but he could be a player. Don't be surprised, starts finding himself on the trade block. If he is on the trade block, if he does get traded, if anything happens whatsoever to Damon Arnette or any of the big-time Raider players, we're going to keep you updated here the entire offseason. So if you find yourself looking for the latest news and rumors around the Raiders, y'all are in the right place. Hit that big red button underneath this video that says subscribe. Turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss a video. All right, we got 3 more stories coming up here. Nevin Lawson, is he going to be starting this upcoming season for the Raiders at slot? I'm actually going to give this one 3 chalky heads, and it's pretty likely, which is good for Lawson. I also think it's kind of a bad thing for the Las Vegas Raiders. And what exactly do I mean by that? Well, first, the report is from Vic Tafur, who said Lawson is going to likely be the starting slot cornerback. At least that's what it's looking like right now. Now, remember, he's suspended week 1 and week 2, so I'll be interested to see what the Raiders end up doing those first 2 weeks. But Bradley apparently is very impressed with his ability to play slot. They're very impressed with his leadership. They're impressed by just how much he is already understanding this defensive scheme. Why I get a little bit nervous about this is because I've seen Nevin Lawson play. He's not very good at football, and I'm sorry. I mean, it is a simple fact that Nevin Lawson is a below-average cornerback in the National Football League, which really concerns me about somebody like Damon Arnette. What exactly does that mean for Nate Hobbs? What exactly does that mean for Amik Robertson? You know what? Speaking of Amik Robertson, let's go to him next here. Is he going to end up making the 53-man roster? The fact that I'm even asking this question is mind-blowing to me. Already we're giving up on Damon Arnette. Already Amik Robertson might not make the 53, and I thought this was almost a lock. I'm going to now give it 2 chalky heads after a brand new report from Tafur that literally said, like, he has a chance to not make this team. Like, he literally says in his latest article about if he doesn't have a good training camp, there is a chance that the Raiders decide to move on from Robertson. A dude that they literally just drafted a year ago in the 4th round, 137 overall. Tafur also said that Robertson is the 3rd player on the depth chart in the slot. That's worrisome. The fact that he struggled in nickel last season, they tried him already this offseason, hasn't worked. That's why you saw some reports about him going to the outside. I was very surprised to see Gus Bradley speaking very highly of Robertson last week, and I was like, it sounds like he's a winner. But then this new report comes out, it's like, man, he's 3rd on the depth chart and might actually not even make the team. That's worth opening up your eyes a little bit. So what I want you guys to do now is take a guess. Who will start as the slot cornerback down in the comments? And after seeing these latest reports, if we're relying on Nevin Lawson, that's worrisome. I'm hoping Nate Hobbs can step up and be a great 5th-round pick. But if we're going to literally trust Nevin Lawson the entire year to start at slot, why the hell are we not going out and getting guys like Brian Poole? Why are we not calling up and picking up the phone and trying to get somebody like Steven Nelson? I will take Brian Poole every single day of the flipping week instead of trying to roll out Nevin Lawson every week. As you can tell, I'm a little bit frustrated by those reports. All right, what's the last thing we're going to be bringing up here? And I know a lot of people probably have seen this, have heard this. They don't know exactly what's happening. But did Tom Brady call out the Raiders, and did he call out Derek Carr? I can't confirm this necessarily, but it's 2 chalky heads, and people are talking because this man, he said some interesting stuff. So let's get into the story exactly. Brady, he was on the show, The Shop, and he was talking about his whole, free agency experience and going here, going there, and he mentioned a team that lost interest in him at the very end of free agency. What I'm about to show you is a quote from Tom and regarding a certain team and kind of a certain player, and I'm almost wondering, did he actually rip on the Raiders? So here's the quote from Tom Brady on The Shop. One of the teams, they weren't interested at the very end. I was thinking, you're sticking with that mother, y'all can fill in the blank there, right? I guess I should say Mother Tomer. So when I think about the 4 teams that were really interested in Tom Brady near the end of free agency, it was the San Francisco 49ers, the Tennessee Titans, it was the Las Vegas Raiders, Chicago Bears. I don't really think it was the Chicago Bears because there was a report out there that Brady didn't want to play in the Colts. All right, sweet. I also don't think it's Ryan Tannehill because the Titans just gave him a brand new contract, which means then it's between Derek Carr and his old teammate Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo and his relationship were really bad, called him a mother effer. Or maybe Las Vegas, the one team that was really, really linked to him, also. So it's a coin flip. But I will say this, if it comes out that he talked about Derek Carr or that he talked about the Raiders, oh man, he's got no idea what's coming for him. So all I want you guys to do is, I don't know if he said it exactly, but you know what? I don't get too many opportunities on this show to say FTB anymore. So if you don't like Tom Brady, if you don't like the tuck rule, if you want Tom Brady to go F himself, I want you to go down in the comments and spam FTB.